Horizon Forbidden West has a real middle sequel vibe. It builds off of the world building established in Horizon Zero Dawn while introducing a new existential threat that's never really resolved. Think Empire Strikes Back, Mass Effect 2, whatever analogy fits best for you, but this does give intrepid players a lot to look forward to, and most importantly, speculate wildly on. So today I wanted to go over how Horizon Forbidden West ended, where they're going with the new Nemesis, and some very interesting hints on what the DLC is likely to be.
Now I'm just trying to make sense of everything I thought I knew and versus everything I know now.
The change is hard, but it gets easier over time.
As you may recall, in Horizon Forbidden West, Aloy is trying to relocate the terraforming AIs needed to re-establish the Earth's biosphere, saving the planet. Aloy discovers that modern humans, billionaires, that left the dying globe almost 1,000 years ago to live off in the far planet Sirius, have discovered immortality. They're known as the Far Zeniths. They return to Earth trying to make sure that the terraforming restarts, killing everything, allowing these Far Zenith aliens to rebuild the Earth in their image. Aloy teams up with one of those Far Zeniths, Tilda, that has a connection to her forebearer Elizabeth. They work together to bring down the rest of them, and it's only in the very last minutes of the main game do we really find out what is really going on.
I see you've been busy.
And you've been lying. Nemesis, what is it?
It is us. The minds of Far Zenith. Or failed copies of them, anyway. Back on Sirius, some of my peers weren't satisfied with physical immortality. They wanted digital transcendence. A way to upload their minds into any form, organic or mechanical. Nemesis was a failed experiment to that effect. Abandoned, but never erased. An immense database of our memories, emotions, and prejudices left to fester.
And it destroyed your colony?
We didn't realize it had gained sentience until it broke containment. It had everything it needed from our memories. Security protocols, system specs, override codes. It hacked everything before we knew what hit us. Then it took over our printing facilities, allowing it to gain any machine form it needed to wipe us out.
But why?
Imagine being trapped alone for decades with only the twisted echoes of megalomaniacs for company. It hates us for abandoning it to that prison. And now that it's free, it will do anything to destroy us, including denying us a safe harbor on Earth.
The extinction signal that woke Hades. You didn't send it. Nemesis did.
Finally, you understand. And when that failed, it launched from Sirius to finish the job itself. Which is why we must flee to a random planet circling a random star, somewhere it can never find us.
With Gaia, so you can build yourself a new world.
That's the plan. Even now. Earth is finished, Aloy. Nemesis will scour it of life to deny its creators a viable home. But Elizabeth's dream won't die. You'll come with me to the stars. And with Gaia, we'll create a new world. Together, where that monstrosity could never find us.
Aloy eventually defeats Tilda and even convinces the ignominious Silence that Earth is worth saving. Now united with nearly all of the terraforming processes, including Apollo, giving them access to all of the former humans' knowledge, with time, it even will give them a chance to modernize the entire planet to the same state humanity was at when the world ended. Which is wild to think about what this means for the series. The entire franchise is predicated on the fact that this tribal world is tribal simply because they don't have access to the knowledge base we did. That is no longer the case. Oh, And let's not forget, Aloy and friends now have a spaceship, the Odyssey, the one that the Far Zeniths arrived in. This, I believe, will have huge implications for Horizon 3, which we can safely say is going to be called Nemesis. As the ending cutscene tells us, Aloy and friends are now bringing together the world in order to face the threat of Nemesis, uniting tribes together now in one force. We also see Sylens looking at what seems to be the Global Cauldron Network. I believe that the next DLC will involve using Apollo to help create a failsafe for the terraforming system to make sure Earth doesn't die before Nemesis arrives. It's a safe bet since every main character still at the base after you beat the game is basically telling you this straight up, with a special endgame data point even taking it a step further. Located beside Beta, it says that Hephaestus is now stronger than ever before. Hint, hint, new machines could be coming. It also states that the previous methods they used to trap Hephaestus aren't going to work since he's now in the Cloud Cauldron Defense Network. Basically, I believe Gaia will stop compiling, says she needs some specific part somewhere in the world to help make a failsafe with Apollo, and our DLC journey will begin. I don't believe we'll be taking over Hephaestus because having machines in the world is how the game works, and that frankly can't change in the DLC. There are several unused areas though on the game map that do give us some clues. Starting with what could be part of the Hoover Dam in the south region of the map, there's no quests or objectives that bring us anywhere close to this area. There is one Tide Ripper and a built-up dam leading to a far-off bridge. The efforts put in place, leading us essentially to nowhere, seem like an obvious intro point for an exciting new area. The most glaring omission, though, in this entire game has to be San Francisco. It was marked as the big city the game would be centered around, and it was barely used beyond a few collectibles and some key quests for the Quen. Specifically, the broken down Golden Gate Bridge. It is such an iconic landmark that has a massive rusting horse on it. Flying around, it just seems like it would be the perfect starting point for a new adventure into a new land, possibly involving the Quen. Other YouTubers have actually found a torched walkway that is littered with invisible walls near the center boundary of the map. I'm a little less inclined to consider this the entrance to the new DLC, but it could be a way back to the world of Horizon Zero Dawn with this new knowledge. You know, we're trying to bring tribes together. Maybe this can be a little revisit to the places we've already been. There are two more hidden lore points that I think should shed some light on what the upcoming DLCs may be all about. Do you remember the Banuk shaman Bryn? He drank the blood of machines in Horizon Zero Dawn and was able to tell the future. In one of those visions, he spoke of the Forbidden West.
You look startled. Are you okay?
I must leave. You should too.
Without a story? I brought down a stormbird.
You did. You're very able. And you're right. Ode is ode. But no more stories of the past. All told. All done. Future stories. I saw an onrushing storm. The future comes hungry for man and machine. It will catch me, I expect. Catch us all. So enough hunts, enough visions. I'll run. Chase that teasing sun to the Forbidden West.
I don't understand. I mean, not that I ever understand, but are you saying we should fear what's coming?
Oh, yes! Jungle on fire! Machine blue light dying out in the eddies of ashes. You, fallen, pale as snow flash, eyes staring open. The metal world, but not the one I sought. The future is a frightful dream, Huntress.
My name is Aloy.
I grew fond of you. Your curiosities and disbeliefs, Aloy. If you weather this storm, look for me. I like that.
Where? In the west? In the storm?
In dreams. Yes.
Well, it turns out this prophetic troublemaker had made his way to the Forbidden West. He's drinking machine blood once again and revealing another prophecy. A glyph from some dead Oseram show that Bryn was drinking bristleback blood, a new machine not in Horizon Zero Dawn, and started yelling that he had to keep running to the place of flame and brine. The Oseram tried to drink the same oil and later died. But what could this land of flame and brine be? It almost sounds demonic, but I can't imagine the specific word choice wasn't deliberate from Guerrilla. If you think about the fact that he was the forebearer of what the Forbidden West was, I think it's pretty safe that these words are important. If you recall the previous story DLC from Horizon Zero Dawn, it involved the Banuk and Hephaestus. Maybe that's too much of a coincidence, too referential to the previous titles, but could Forbidden West be doing the same thing? To further that theory, there's another glyph very close from Gildan, who you might remember from that same DLC. He was a hilarious Oseram that you had to help for a very long side quest there. In the glyph, he talks about how Aloy, the flame-haired Nora, gave him a sense of adventure, and now he's leaving the frozen north and is heading to a new place called the Burning Shore, southward of his location. The Burning Shores sound a lot like the place of flame and brine. Both of these data points are in a similar region, and they're pretty close to some areas where I think the DLCs will happen. If you're a betting man, I really think Burning Shores, it has a really good name. That is going to be the title and place of the next DLC. Later, there's also a throwaway line from Gaia that I think may be more revealing than it first appears. Gaia mentions the team leaders of the original Zero Dawn project and the secret base they were hoping to spend their final days in.
Aside from Gaia Prime and Thebes, there was one other underground facility that was sealed before the Pharaoh Plague reached it. Elysium. The place where Zero Dawn staff and their families went to live out their lives. Do you know what happened to it?
Elysium was designed to provide life support for 100 years. My data indicates the facility went offline well before then.
Did the Pharaoh Plague find them?
Unknown. My connection to the facility was abruptly severed.
This could indicate a tragic ending, but I think this may mean that the smartest minds on Earth were able to possibly live longer, figuring out a way to live in these new restrictions. Either way, this is the first time we've heard anything concrete about Elysium, this very important place in the series. Maybe the item that Gaia needs to rebuild the biosphere is in there. Maybe, with the knowledge Apollo has given her, she didn't have access before, and now she needs Aloy's help to find a way in. Either way, it does seem like there will be a DLC for the Forbidden West, and it will involve helping Gaia save the planet before the new threat arrives. What do you think? Is there something I could be missing here? Am I putting too much stock into the ravings of a Banuk warrior? I'll tell you one thing that doesn't miss, though, the cool, crisp shave of the Manscaped razor. Our sponsors at manscaped.com are here to save your balls this year and make the ball drop into this year the cleanest and sexiest ever. They have the new Performance Package 4.0, the new Ultra Bodium Premium Wash. They got travel bags, boxer briefs. Honestly, they're just the best shavers in the world. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code VGS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code VGS. It's 2022, the year pubes go extinct, much like the far zenith modern humans did. All thanks to manscaped.com.